This video will cover page 4-17 in your notes. So one way to do percent problems is to use a percent proportion. So we've spent lots of times with proportion, so this kind of makes it a little bit easier. So there's two different ways we can think about it. One is over of equals percent out of 100. So the definition of percent is out of 100. When you're doing story problems, it's a little bit more of part over whole or total equals percent out of 100. So do you know part of it or do you know the whole thing? That's how you would do that one. Just the regular percent problems, you'll have an is, an of, or a percent. You'll have 2 out of the 3 of those. The 100 will always be there. So number 1, 18 is what percent of 40? So 18 is your is, 40 is your of, you're finding your percent. So that's where you're going to put your x. If they don't give you a percent, you know that it's going to be x over 100. So we cross multiply, 40x equals 1800. Divide by 40. And you don't need to write x equals, but you get 45, and it's a percent. So most of these don't need labels, but if it asks for a percent, you need to put the percent sign. If you don't need to write all of your workout for cross multiplying, that's great. You multiply these two and divide by the leftover one. So number 2 is the same. What percent of 75, so 75 is the of, is 80. We're finding the percent out of 100. Now this seems a little bit weird, but when you cross multiply, you're going to get 75x equals 8,000. When you divide, you are going to get a number over 100. All right, 80 is more than 75, so you're going to get over 100. You get 106.6 repeating, so you can change that to 100, and actually let's leave it as 106.6 repeating percent. If you want to change it to 106 2/3%, you can do that as well. So either leave it as 6 repeating or change it to the 2/3. Number 3, they give us a percent. So sometimes it's easier to right away put your percent out of 100. You know that goes there. It says what is. That means you don't know what your is, and use of 15. So cross multiply, 100x equals 450. Divide by 100, and we get 4.5. So it is okay to have decimals for these. If you want to check, do 4.5 out of 15 and make sure you get 0.3 for 30%. This one doesn't have the word is. It says find 8.5% of 160. So you know you have your percent and you know you have your is. So x over 160 equals 8.5 over 100. Cross multiply, 100x equals 1,360. Divide, and we get 13.6. Number 5, 28 is 4% of what number? So we don't know the of. 28 is your is, and you know you have 4%, so 4 out of 100. So the of is what you don't know. 4x equals 2,800. Divide by 4, and we get 700. Number 6, 86% of what number, so we don't know, is 77.4. So your is 77.4. We don't know the of 86%, so 86 out of 100. So 86x equals 7,740. Divide, and we get 90. Number 7, find 28.5% of 200. So we have our percent and we have our of. We don't know our is. So x over 200 equals 28.5 over 100. 100x equals 5,700. Divide by 100, and we get 57. Number 8, 52 is what percent of 25? So we don't know our percent. 52 is your is, of is 125. You're asked to find the percent, so x over 100. So 125x equals 5,200. Divide by 125, and you get 41.6 repeating percent. If you'd rather change it to 41 2/3, you can, but 41.6 repeating is fine. Number 9, 7.5% of what number is 21? So 21 over x, we don't know the of, equals 7.5 out of 100. 7.5x equals 2,100. Divide by 7.5, and we get 280. And our last one, what is 64% of 80? So we don't know our is. X over 80 equals 64 over 100. So 100x equals 5,120. Divide by 100, and we get 51.2. So is over of equals percent over 100. You'll know 2 out of the 3 numbers you need to fill in. The 100 will always be there. Then you cross multiply to find your missing amount.